Hi, I'm Lex with commentsection.com. Today we're going to be talking about Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank seems to be a disaster on all fronts, whether you are looking for a stock in the banking sector, a bank to hold your money, or an investment bank to manage your portfolio. I would not recommend Deutsche Bank on any occasion due to their inability to stay within legal guidelines. Deutsche Bank has recorded over $8 billion in losses in the past 2 years for good reason. They have had significant fines and penalties for illegal practices, as well as an outdated IT department that is simply too inefficient to effectively manage all the capital under their watch. While almost all major banks have had problems and fines against them for shady practices, Deutsche seems to have by far the most of any major investment bank, at least that I know about. In 2014, the U.S. Department of Justice demanded that Deutsche Bank pay $14 billion after an investigation led to the conclusion that the bank was selling toxic mortgage-backed securities. This case was eventually settled for $7.2 billion in 2016. This is just the tip of the iceberg, however. Deutsche Bank is currently being investigated in Milan for masking hundreds of millions of euros in losses for an undisclosed client. That case has since now gone to trial. Also in Milan, the bank is being investigated by a panel of judges who are deciding whether it used derivative trades in conjunction with Italian lender Banca Monte di Paschi di Siena to unlawfully help them conceal staggering losses. Deutsche Bank is notorious for laundering money for various Russian organizations between 2011 and 2015. Deutsche Bank made mirror trades, which produced no economic value whatsoever, but simply took $10 billion out of Russia for wealthy clients, which of course violates money laundering laws. They also are known for tampering with market benchmark interest rates in Deutsche's own favor. The Federal Reserve described more of Deutsche Bank's actions as unsafe and unsound in April and fined the firm $137 million. The Federal Reserve has also come down on the bank in 2016 to the tune of $20 million for not complying with the Volcker Rule, which is an implementation under the Dodd-Frank Act, which prevents banks from trading with their own liquidity. After losing close to 6.8 billion euros in 2015, there were questions on whether the bank could even meet capital requirements set by law, and whether Deutsche could pay back coupons on intricate variants of bonds outstanding. But wait, there's even more. Even as other banks have been slammed for malpractices, Deutsche still stands out as a banking leader of repeating offenses that have damaged its reputation to such an extent many believe it will never come back as the reliable household name it was before. Furthermore, the International Monetary Fund stated in June that Deutsche Bank was the most important net contributor to systematic risk in our economy. Those are extremely harsh words for the IMF, which normally waters down the infringements of other banks through a kaleidoscope of financial jargon. Bloomberg states in an article entitled, "Can John Cryan Save the Deutsche Bank from Itself?" that the bank has failed to properly scrutinize clients, maintain accurate accounting records, rate the risk of countries, or spend the money to hire qualified compliance personnel. They also quoted DFS Superintendent Maria Vullo in an article who stated, Deutsche Bank was on clear notice of serious and widespread compliance issues dating back a decade. There is also the question of their IT system, which is extremely outdated by many contemporary standards. Some speculate if this was just a lapse of judgment or a concerted effort made to keep them from having accurate records of illicit practices. So as the headline of the Bloomberg article states, can John Cryan save Deutsche Bank from itself? The answer is no. And with the history of the bank, the question shouldn't be whether the bank should be saved, but whether it should be broken up altogether.